internet world. Hello, YouTube world. How is everybody doing this evening at 11:41? And today I need to get used to the new year. Today is Monday, December the 5th of 2026. I can't believe it. Okay, so welcome to Lasha's Take, and I am your host, Lasha. And if you read the description, it simply says a year in review of 2025. And some of the most poignant moments we've had this year. And for all of you that are interested in what happened to Charlie Kirk, what happened to the fireman that was hit at Donald Trump's rally? Why is Candace Owens, Coach Colin, Ian Carroll, why are they doing all of the research on Charlie Kirk? I haven't heard one single piece of news about Charlie Kirk on mainstream media, and I live in Canada. Okay? I am a proud Canadian. So I think I'll just move the tripod here. I just have to adjust this. Okay, so again, welcome to Lasha's Take. And if you're interested in reviewing 2025 with me, then I'm really glad that you're here. Now, 2025 is very subjective. When I say a year in review in 2025, I'm talking about what happened on this channel throughout the year, some of the lessons that I've learned starting a YouTube channel, what it takes to get a YouTube channel off the ground, and based on numbers, numbers don't lie. Now, on my channel, you'll find that I conduct lives and shorts only. And the reason I started this channel was because of a systemic issue in the medical sphere in Canada. And I was listening to Coach Colin while Candace Owens was away. And I was listening to Ian Carroll. I was listening to who's doing Charlie Kirk's show right now? Andrew? At any rate, my whole point is I was thinking about my anxiety and my societies and Marco Polo, Marco Polo, let me show you. Honest to goodness, the injustices that occurred in 2025 in review are just absolutely atrocious. When I say a year in review, I am going to share with you what I learned this year on YouTube and some of the subjects that we're going to talk about. I want to talk about Charlie Kirk. Why is it that all of the internet sleuths are trying to find out what happened to Charlie Kirk? And I haven't heard anything on mainstream media in reference to Charlie Kirk. And as far as reviewing your year, keeping track of your year, one of the reasons that I started this channel, it was a projection of what I didn't receive. When people start a channel, it's usually a projection of who they are and what their issues might be or their non-issues. People will lean into what they're really good at and just be themselves. Or you'll have people that, in my opinion, are adrenaline. I don't want to mention names, but I want to make something perfectly clear. Candace Owens, I don't care what anybody says about her. I don't care if people think that she's full of baloney. And all of these YouTubers that have created footage off of Candace's back, and they're complaining about Candace Owens. If you don't like something, all you have to do is shut it off. You know, but when if you okay, here's something. Here's the difference between YouTube and reality. And this is all going to make sense. I have a little bit of ADHD, but just if you carefully think about what I'm saying. Coach Colin, Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, Megan Kelly. Who is she anymore? What does she stand for anymore? And who am I to judge? I want to review the year and give you my opinion in reference to what's going on. And the first subject I would like to stick to is the Charlie Kirk. I really want to talk about that because I find it absolutely freaking amazing that it's the internet sleuths and the Coach Collins and the Ian Carrolls and the Candace Owens that are trying to find out what happened to Charlie that day. And I think people underestimate Candace Owens's perspective. When you think about Candace Owens, what's the very first word that comes to mind? As far as I know, it looks like there's three people there. So if I have your attention and if you're not going to swipe me out of your life right away, I would like to know from you as a YouTube community and an internet community, what is it about Candace Owens? Because other channels are making lots of, I don't know, whatever goals people have on YouTube, they are reaching these goals because of Candace Owens. Do you know how many channels are covering Candace Owens right now? Just take a wild guess. In my feed, 65 to 70% are people making excellent videos in reference to Candace's research. And I think it's absolutely hilarious and hypocritical and disgusting. And the systemic issues that I'll be getting into are a little convoluted, but don't swipe me out of your life yet. And if you want to, I understand. And if you can't stay to watch the whole thing, that's not an issue because I'm going to put this video up, the live, and I'm attaching it to the playlist, Candace Owens Opinion Pieces. And for all of you out there, I advertised the $50 Christmas countdown for an entire month. Okay? January 2nd came, and I think two people signed up to win a $50 Amazon card. And why am I doing this? What's my MO in doing that? I'll show you what my MO is. The systemic issue that happened with Charlie Kirk had to do with Donald Trump. Who is the person that would benefit the most out of his death? That's what you need to think about. Guaranteed, it was about money, power, and position. Okay? Look at what happened to Khalif Browder. Does anybody remember the Netflix series, The Trials of Khalif Browder? And he was on Rikers Island for 3 years because he couldn't post bail and he had to stay at Rikers Island until his hearing. And he was arrested for apparently stealing a backpack. And I watched the documentary about it and I just about threw up. I'm 54 and they were showing clips back from 2013. And I remember living in Barrie and watching this young man on Rosie O'Donnell on The View, and he looked so disturbed. And I think that when people make fun of Rosie O'Donnell, I think it's ridiculous. I think she's a very good woman, you know? So people are complaining, first of all, on YouTube. Everybody's complaining about everything, okay? People are complaining that Candace Owens is doing this for clickbait and she does this for attention and everything that she says is dishonest and people go on and on and on and on. Specific examples, my head is so scrambled from keeping up with the news, I can't even think straight. I mean, I literally had to contain myself in solitary confinement with the phone off, which I haven't done yet. I thought I heard a knock. To unwrap all of this garbage up. Okay, so my first point, people complaining about Candace Owens investigating Charlie Kirk's murder for money. If you believe that, then you don't really watch Candace Owens. Now, I am very neutral with Candace Owens. I love to watch her. She's very entertaining. She's very charismatic. She's very angry. She's very, very angry. And she's interesting. She's had a very interesting life. And I find her character to be interesting. I don't always agree with what she says. However, when you're trying to build a channel and you're trying to make a difference and you're trying to get my personal message out there, unfortunately, I have to talk a little bit about this for people to stay for even 2 seconds. Do you know why? Because all of this is just the government and people confusing things, people not speaking to each other, people talking about each other behind. People don't even talk behind each other's backs anymore. People just get online and insult each other, do not think about what they're saying, because what goes up on YouTube never comes down. So my honest suggestion and what I learned in 2025 is be really careful about the footage you put up. You never know who's going to see it. It could be a potential employer. It could be, I don't know, somebody in your life that has different political views than you. Like, for instance, our Prime Minister, Stephen Carney, he used to work for the Bank of England, which means, and Andrew Lowney stated this, if memory serves me correct, because Andrew Lowney was on the Zach show today, and Zach answered some really tough questions about Prince Andrew. My whole point is Steve Carney is the Prime Minister of Canada. He has ties to the Bank of London, so he understands how the Commonwealth works. Then we have Khalif Browden, and the system completely failed him, and he was in jail for 3 years. And he came out, and because his brain was not fully developed and he was 16 years old on Rikers Island, his brain shrunk and he ended up unaliving himself. And the judges knew it, but they turned their back. When people turn their back, if you watch somebody do something and you don't say anything, there's something seriously wrong with you. And why am I interested in these systemic issues like Whitney Webb, how deep she gets into the Epstein files? I cannot explain that the way she does. So I'm not going to piggyback off of her, and nor am I going to piggyback off of Candace Owens. It's monstrous out there, and I'm sick of it. YouTubers calling other YouTubers out. It used to be YouTube against mainstream media, and now YouTubers are fighting, except the little love affair between Coach Colin and Ian Carroll is a really sweet. It's like we're on the Jim Carrey movie, and it was called Ed TV, and it was this guy's life was being watched by everybody, and that's what YouTube is like now. You can flip the screen, you can see what's going on with the coach, you can see what's going on with Ian Carroll, see what's going on with Cheer Denise, TNT UK. There's so many channels out there, I can't even stick to one. It causes confusion. Charlie Kirk has passed away. It's not even been 120 days. Like, people were criticizing Erica Kirk, and I thought she was acting really odd too. But because she's a narcissist, I I I don't know why she had Nicki Minaj on there. And look, I'm criticizing her myself. I'm doing the very thing that I don't like. And that's why if you don't suffer in life and you don't go through trauma and you don't have a little bit of rough edges around you, you are not prepared for the world because there's some creepy stuff going on. And I think the Charlie Kirk assassination, and this is my humble opinion, was a distraction for Trump because of the Epstein files, because I don't think we know the depths of depravity of the leader of the free world. Are we all stupid? Steve Carney is our prime minister. He's attached to the royal family. Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell, if it wasn't for Virginia Giuffre losing her life, none of this would have come out. Maybe Khalif Bowder bringing attention to Rikers. Hi, David. Are you from Venezuela? What's going on in Venezuela? David, my name is Lasha. I was just doing a review of 2025 and I got totally off track. What is going on in Venezuela? Now, I thought they were fighting for independence, but because I haven't been watching mainstream media, I missed this part. But as far as I know, the is it the president or whatever? He's in the States now for some reason. I don't know. I need to look into that. I'm sorry, David, if you're suffering in any way. And I just want all of you to know before you swipe away, I started this channel because I went through a systemic issue, okay? In the healthcare system. I was in a wheelchair for 1 year because a surgeon broke my knee because I broke my femur, but he literally drilled 2 holes into my knee, which has never happened in the history of femur breaks in Canada. And now this is what I have. It was a regular standard femur operation, and now I have open nerves, terrible, terrible pain. This happened when I was um, 46 years old, and now I'm 54. And I'm just trying to say the synopsis of everything is there are cracks in the system so terribly. Like, I mean, look at uh, the nurse, the good nurse, Amy, and the Charlie Culligan. Okay, he wasn't a angel of mercy. He would give people a drug that would paralyze them, and they would be able to feel and sense everything and not be able to move. That's a form of torture. Look what happened to Khalif Browder. Torture in the jail system. Look at my leg. I can't, I have to do a complete video to show you the appointments and the dates and the timeline and the fuck ups. And even the cracks in what we've learned about the Charles Manson MK Ultra. So, and a year in review for me is this is a non-donation charity. I must say, I'm absolutely befuddled. Who in their right mind wouldn't want to put their name in a raffle to win a $50 gift card? I don't get it. I'll never understand it. And it's not catching on. So I'm done with it. Not doing it anymore. So thank you for listening. I wanted to unwrap that. I'm just very disappointed because I put a lot of work into the raffle, a lot of work. I got the card, and you're trying to do something good for people and give away and try and help, and you're not doing it for any other reason than it's because you didn't feel that you were helped, and people think that's what bullshit. It actually makes me mad. So I'm not doing it anymore. I wanted this to be the first YouTube channel that I would research subjects, create really good content, and 50% I was going to give back into the community. And I've done 5 raffles in the last 2 years from my own pocket, and I'm not monetizing yet. And I spent all Christmas getting ready for the raffle, and people didn't sign up. And I was just so disappointed. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, I bought, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just the systemic issues that are going on, people do not stick with one piece of news long enough to get anything done. It took Andrew Lowney years and years to write that book entitled. And if it wasn't for Virginia Giuffre and Maria Farmer and Annie Farmer, we know nothing about Epstein, if not for Maria Farmer. She suffered and she saved us all, yet people rip her apart. Virginia Giuffre brought Epstein to light. She was abused and abused in her life over and over because the system failed her. Okay? Khalif Browder, Rikers Island, passed away, isolation, solitary confinement, torture, Guantanamo Bay, the Iraq War. BS. So we're all sitting around talking about it, but what do we do about it? Do you think I want Steve Carney running Canada? Do you think that any of our leaders really give a shit about any of us? I think not. So, on that note, what I learned this year is to stick with yourself, your family, the people that love you, the people that stick around. And it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And I'll tell you something about this channel. I met Melody Moon and Trevor were friends. Melody's in Calgary, I'm in Ontario, Trevor's in Denver. And, or sorry, Detroit. And Sarah from Australia, we really miss her. And there was Saucy, and there's Random Citizen, and Eric, a subscriber, sent me this journal and Ask Not. And he's a wonderful man. And yeah, it's a smaller community, and some of my footage is a little bit different, but based on the injury I had and based on my survival story, but it's not a story. It was a chain of events that never should have happened, and I was in imminent danger with my life. Khalif ended up committing, unalived himself, and Virginia Giuffre, because of all the abuse, because of the likes of the uber rich and people question and the BS that goes on in trials. And I don't have any answers to anything. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. It's nice to meet you, Trump King. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I just wanted to unload that off my chest, unwrap it. I do have a little bit of ADHD. I'm very tired tonight. So I appreciate you watching, taking the time to like. Thank you for not swiping me out of your life right away. It's joke, but yes, cool live. Oh, thank you very much, Trump King. Thank you. I want Trump King, and I asked David as well, what do you think happened to Charlie Kirk? Because we've moved, he's not been gone. He's only been gone for not even 120 days. And now there's another, and look what happened in Venezuela. I wasn't quite sure exactly what happened because I spend so much time on YouTube. I was listening to Ian Carroll and Coach Colin like fawn over each other. It was quite funny. But thank you very much, Trump King. Um, I just know with Charlie Kirk, you have to think about who would benefit from that. I think it was a distraction. Kirk, IDK, he maybe too much. He gains lots of hate. Yeah, I don't buy into the Tyler Robinson thing. I don't even think Trump was assassinated. I think it was all fake. I really do. There's no way that people could have gotten to Mar-a-Lago through security to assassinate Trump. I think that's BS. As far as this, I don't even remember the assassin's name. They got, boy, didn't JFK's assassination has been going on for what? 70 years and we're still talking about it? But Donald Trump gets assassinated and we don't hear anything about it. Don't you find that a little suspicious? Yeah, yeah, okay? I'm serious. And I'm tired of people hating each other. I can't stand it anymore. There's injustices and there's infractions and rules and you can't say anything without hurting somebody's feelings or getting sued because of money. Is that what God wants for all of us? For those of you who don't believe, I understand. I didn't for the longest time, I did not, but I do now. And there's evil in this world. I'm reading this book called The Exorcism of Annalise Michael, and I've got a playlist on yes, exactly. Yeah. It is true. Like and who benefited the most from Charlie Kirk was in the way for Trump as far as I'm concerned. And honestly, with the JFK, why didn't they investigate? Why don't we know all about Stephen Crook or whoever the kid was that apparently clipped his ear and killed a fireman? Where's the fireman's family? You know? It just makes me sick to my stomach. And then I was watching, unfortunately, the systemic issues in the jail system with Khalif Bowder, the systemic issues in the Health Child Services Aid in Los Angeles with Gabrielle Fernandez. It's heartbreaking. And we all talkity, 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 talk, but what do we do about it? There's more of us. You know what? I should call this channel Stray Cats. If anybody out there feels out of place, out of touch, not in a group, or you want too much, you want a place where you can shine, we grow together and make a dime. Seriously, for any young YouTube channels out there like mine, let's pull together, come together right now over here, and let's make some money and help other people and keep some for ourselves too and have fun with it, you know? And let's stop making fun of the Candace Owenses and blaming her because she's choosing to monetize. She was making that much money when she was doing her Camilla Files or the Brigitte Macron or the Harvey Speaks. She's done so much. I am Canadian, Maud. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. And Trump King, it is all upside down. But that's what I wanted to unwrap tonight. I really hope that you give this video a like because it really does move it forward. It really, honest to God, does. And comments. I want to hear from you about what I was talking about. I can guarantee you what's going on with Gypsy Rose Blanchard's baby. If I don't know anything about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, okay? I know about the case, and it was a big thing in the news, and she was a big thing for 3 months, and then she faded away. And now the news cycle is so quick, we can't even take a step back and have moments of peace and solidarity and togetherness in this world, and human beings treating each other like human disposable garbage bags in the Vietnam War, the Iraq War. It's crumbling to the core. And we talk about it. But what are we doing about it? There's more of us. I don't have a plan. I don't know what to do. I was going to walk across Canada about my leg and the injustice. Granny does the news clap. Okay, whatever. All right, goodbye. That's a wrap. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Bye, everybody. That's a wrap. And Trevor and I will be going live tomorrow to do a year in review about this channel. And for the raffles, for heaven's sakes, we need at least 20 people. It was for 50 bucks. I still have the card. And if you guys don't want it, then don't take it. Okay? That's a wrap. Oh, and today is um, Tuesday, January the 6th of 2026, and it's Ukrainian Christmas. just want to keep track of the names that were here so I know. Russian, Granny does the granny clap. This is Russian Mod Trump King. Oh, and Nick Fuentes, how could I forget him? And Trump King and David from Venezuela. Well, I do a lot of dancing, so I've got a lot of really cool shorts for dancing. But one of the things about Charlie Kirk and his assassination where I feel a little stuck, and it brought me into looking into deeper systemic issues in the US and the bouts of humiliation that so many people have gone through. Chris Cuomo, Governor Cuomo, um, Al Franken. I mean, ugh, I don't know if the Me Too movement helped or hurt. Just watched a very disturbing movie with Julia Roberts. Yeah. Anyways, I'm reading this book called The Exorcism of Annalise Michael, and it's on the playlist. And I need to start and pick back up with it. So I'm going to do that. So for all of you that if you missed the live, you can rewatch it if you want to. And thank you for joining very, very much. That's a wrap. Have a really good Tuesday, December the 6th of 2026. And take care of y'all, all y'all.